Falcons set to put the ball into play, and Chris Wong sends it down deep toward Nathan Hamilton, and off ahead here, Colasino takes it and sends it out. Back deep to Bobby Moore, who then sends it to Chris Wong and clears it out. Falcons again taking the offense here. Shansback takes it down, sends it to the corner, gets tripped, and then he's got the ball back, and then Hamilton sends it far to John Garan and Tryon Horgan, both chasing it down on the far side. Out of bounds on the Falcons, so John Paul will have a throw in deep in their own territory, sends it out, intercepted by Horgan. Ball sent across the middle. Hamilton trying to get to it, not quite quick enough there. Whitty sends it outside to Shansback. And out of bounds, throw in for the Jaguars. Carl Gumpert getting set to come back into the game. I think he just kind of got a little headache there when he fell. Out of bounds against the Jaguars. Falcons will throw the ball in. All right, John Garan coming out as Gumpert's ready to go back in the game. And the Falcons set the ball into motion. Jacques Smith clears it to the far side to Chris Wong. And Wong sends it down the left-hand side for Horgan, and it's out of bounds. Kevin Haney set to throw in for the Jaguars. Ball out of bounds on the far side. It'll be a throw in for the Jaguars. Cleared by Johnny Skalash out to Nathan Hamilton, who sideswipes one player and sends the ball into the middle to Gumpert. Intercepted there by McClellan. Falcon ball. Chris Wong set to throw it in. Long throw down the left side. Planells is knocked down by the Jaguars' number 2, Onstadt, and Falcons will take a free kick. Chris Wong setting it up. Wong sends it down high in the middle, trying to get to, hits the bar. All right, there's not a goal, but it is a handball, and that will give a penalty kick to the Falcons. It was a beautiful play by the defenders of Pope John Paul to back up their goalie. But unfortunately, where the shot was, it happened to hit him in the hands, and that's illegal. Be a penalty kick for the Falcons. I believe Carl Gumpert looks like, no, I'm not sure who's taking it right now. First, very strong opportunity here. Goal, good for the Falcons, and Carl Gumpert, number 22 for the year. The Falcon fans are pretty excited on the far side at this point. Goals against these two teams are not too many. They're short and few and far between, so it's It's a big, big plus to get the first one and get one early here. Substitution again for the Jaguars, who will get set to put the ball into play. Score 1-0 Falcons here at Falcon Field. Hassan set to set the ball in motion to Graham and see if that picks up the intensity a little bit more even. Gumpert with the ball, taking it to the far outside, sends it deep across for Horgan. And Horgan tries to head it in toward the middle, but Colasino takes it and clears it. Out toward Shansback, who puts a header on it. Just didn't quite get to the right people. Got to a blue shirt instead of a white. Jock Smith runs over and beats the Jaguar to the ball, but the ball is out on Jock, and Garrett Allen will then put the ball in play for the Jaguars on the far side with a throw in. Sends it deep, and Bobby Moore ends up with it. Clears it out to Hamilton, who couldn't quite get the ball before Jaguar was coming up full speed. Foul off of number 19, McClellan, will give the ball to the Falcons. Both teams getting set. Jaguars putting in their defensive alignment. Chris Wong coming over to set it up. Falcons getting their offensive people in place. Chris looking around for Carl and Jaime, and Planell's moving across the middle of the field. And here we go. A little too high and over everybody's head. Colasino takes it and now clears it out for the Jaguars. Off of Josh Woody's head, and good clear for the Falcons. Just nobody there at that point in time. Ball sent down in by the Jaguars. Shansback sends it over to Macalusa, who loses it, then gets it back. Clears into the middle to Skalash. Sets up into the middle to Planells. Back to Whitty. In the middle to Hamilton. Hamilton looking for some room to move with the ball. Looked like Johnny Skalash down in the goal box. I don't know if this is going to also be a penalty kick or if it's just going to be a free kick. Nope, they're lining it up like another penalty kick for the Falcons, as Skalash was taken down in the box. Gumpert set, looks like, again to take the goal kick, the penalty kick for the Falcons. First half action being brought to you today by Garan Insurance, North Lake Insurance Group, Jim Meyer Construction, and Ron Macalusa, attorney at law. And the kick is blocked this time by Colasino, as Gumpert tries the same side and Colasino guesses right. Fine play by the goalie, Matt Colasino, a senior for Pope John Paul. Both goalies today are seniors. Colasino for the Jaguars and Bobby Moore for the Falcons. First half action should be winding down here pretty close. Don't exactly know when, what the time is, because we got started just a little bit late. Falcons trying to set the ball, but stolen by Allen. Fine play by Sam Macalusa to help get the ball cleared out and stop the drive by the Jaguars. Over the top by Graham, and that'll be a goal kick for the Falcons. Ball coming in from the ball boy on the far side, Brian Wong, I believe that is. It's been a real exciting first half here. Lots and lots of action. 1-0 Falcons' favor here in the closing minutes of the first half. Moore sends the ball up the middle to Planells, who didn't quite get his head on it. Ball is out of bounds off the Falcons. It'll be a throw-in for Pope John Paul. Graham set to throw the ball in, throws it into the middle, and taken by Moore. Jaguars tried to head the ball in and didn't quite get enough on it, and Moore takes it down in the air. Whistle against the Falcons on the far side. McClellan will put the ball in play, sends it down the middle, cleared by Jacques Smith. And Hamilton steals the ball but loses it out of bounds, and it'll be a Jaguar throw-in. First half action being brought to you today by Garan Insurance, North Lake Insurance Group. Charles and John Garan provide all types of insurance, whether it's for your home, business, boat, automobile, or personal liability. Shot by McClellan is way wide and out of bounds. Garan Insurance, also Jim Meyer Construction, Jimmy Meyer and Ronnie Figurino, builders of quality homes and businesses. Whether it's new construction, an addition, or extensive remodeling, they can handle the job. Also, Ron Macaluso, attorney at law, handling personal injury, criminal defense, and general litigation with offices in downtown Hammond. Hamilton with the ball, tries to get it out to Gumpert. Cleared by Ford again for the Jaguars. Ball sent down the field, and Jock Smith's there to get to it, and then Chris Wong, and then a little push by the Jaguars, and it'll be a free kick for the Falcons. Yellow card on number 25 for the Jaguars for the push. Onstadt will come back in the game for the Jaguars, replacing number 25. Chris Wong set to put the ball into play for the Falcons on the far side. Kicks it back to Jacques Smith, looks around, sends it to Bobby Moore, who then sends it up the field. Allen sends it up the middle to Wong, who then clears it out, and it's a shot just over the outstretched hands of Moore and just a little wide of the goal box. Be a goal kick again for the Falcons. Both goalies have had their activities today. It has been a busy, busy day in front of the goal boxes. So far, the Falcons have had the better of it on a penalty kick. 1-0 over Pope John Paul. Jaguars with the ball at midfield. Ball cleared out by Johnny Skalash. Steve Graham throws it in for the Jaguars. And again, kicked out of bounds by Brandon Shansback. Will make a throw in for the Jaguars down right close to the end line. Ball in. End of the first half. That's halftime here at Falcon Field. With the score, the Falcons 1-0 over Pope John Beefmaster Cattle in America. That's T-Bob Ranch. It's high school. Game between the Jaguars of Pope John Paul and the Super Falcons of St. Thomas Aquinas. Score is 1-0. Falcons scoring on a penalty kick in the first half by Carl Gumpert, his 22nd goal of the year. Second half action just starting. Second half being brought to you today by Evans Carpet Depot, Roger Roldan, MD, and North Oaks Pediatrics, and Rolling and Perilou, attorneys at law. Ball is out of bounds on the Jaguars, and the Falcons will be throwing it in. Looks like Chris Wong will be throwing it in. Very, very intense first half of action today. Typical of a game between the Falcons and the Jaguars, who are always 1-2 in the district, and this is no different year. Last year the Falcons were able to win a rubber game and to become the champs for the district, as each team lost to the other team at their place. We beat St. Thomas beat John Paul at John Paul in Slidell, and then John Paul came back and won in overtime against the Falcons and Soccer Under the Lights. Hamilton trying to send the ball down to Gumpert. Falcons are kind of standing around right now a little bit. Planell's tried to send the ball back into Horgan, but intercepted by McClellan, kicked out of bounds, and the Falcons will have a throw in. Planell sends it in to Chris Wong. Wong sends it toward the hole, taken by Colasino, the goalie. Matt's had a real good game today, as has the Falcon keeper, Bobby Moore. Ball out to Sam Macaluso, who sends it up the field. Hamilton takes it. And Whitty sends it downfield, taken there by stolen by Shansback, and then Whitty's got the ball again in the middle, looking for Gumpert. Falcons trying to set something up, moving the ball around the field. Out to Hamilton, who tries to send it down the box, and there comes Shansback down the far side. Ball still in play on the far side, kicked out by John Paul. Looked like they expected the ball to cross the end line, and it didn't quite make it. Falcons had a good opportunity there. Carl Gumpert just couldn't quite get to the ball as Colasino makes a dive for it. Ball out to Tryon Horgan. Kicked out of bounds by the Jaguars. Chris Wong sends it down toward Carl Gumpert, who can't quite get to it. Hamilton with the ball, looking for setting up. Whistle on number 7. Sean Yo. Johnny Scalage trying to get in for the shot. Can't quite get it as it's cleared out to the far side. Shansback is trying to get it but loses it. And the Jaguars send the ball down the field where Jacques Smith clears to Macaluso, who sends it up the field to Shansback. A lot of action on the far side. Jacques Smith sends it down deep and toward the middle of the field. Graham clears for the Jaguars. Whistle on Horgan, and it'll be Jaguar ball. Second half action being brought to you by Evans Carpet Depot. Dave and Dee Dee Evans provide a full line of quality residential and business flooring, including carpet, vinyl, ceramic tile, and wood. Offer the largest stock in Tangipahoa Parish and have outlet prices with complete installation. You can find them at their new location on University Drive between SLU and I-55. That's Evans Carpet Depot. Throw in on the far side for the Jaguars. Down deep to Graham. Cleared out by Jacques Smith. Into Hamilton, looking for Gumpert, but it's stolen by McClellan from the back. Throw in for the Falcons. Skalash has the ball at midfield. Wong racing Garrett Allen for it and wins. Foul against Jock Smith. Be a free kick for the Jaguars on the far corner. Okay, Garrett Allen set to take the kick for the Jaguars. Yellow card given to Chris Wong. Chris will have to come off the field real quick. Andrew Shalona going in to replace Chris. Falcons setting up their defense, setting their wall on the 10-yard mark from the ball. The kick by John Paul hits the players that are in the wall, and out it comes. Ball rolling around in front of the goal box. Very scary for the Falcons, but they finally clear the ball out. Macaluso trying to get the ball, sends it down toward Gumpert, and out of bounds. Good play by the defense of the Falcons to keep that ball from going and getting a rebound off of somebody and into the goal. Substitutions for the Jaguars. Chris Wong set to come back in just a minute. Ball kicked way out of bounds over onto the baseball field. It'll be a throw in for the Falcons, and Wong will now come back into the game for the Falcons. Andrew Shalona comes off the field. Shan's back with the throw in on the far side, sends it down deep to Hamilton, who's trying to get it across, sends it right into the goalie, and Colasino is able to stop it and knock it down. Ball cleared out toward defense for the Falcons, taken by Jacques Smith, and then finally cleared out by Wong. Johnny Skalash with the ball, tries to send it over to Planels, but couldn't quite get the angle. Ball out of bounds on Jaguars, and it'll be a throw in for the Falcons on the far side of the field. Throw in was in and out off the Falcons, and now the Jaguars will take the ball. Defense trying to clear the ball out, finally get it out to Hamilton, who can't quite get it into Gumpert. Carl's being covered very, very tightly by the defense of the Jaguars, just as their leading forward, Garrett Allen, is being covered by Chris Wong. Hamilton clears the ball, just misses Shan's back, and taken by the Jaguars. Planels finally ends up with the ball as we try to clear out to Hamilton. Hamilton sends it across the field, trying to get it to Johnny Scalage, who can't quite get to it. Whistle off of on Stephen Graham for a little too much body on Chris Wong. Ball across to Planels, who sends it down the far side and for Gumpert. Of course, Carl is double teamed out there and is not able to get the ball, though they do kick it out of bounds, and it'll be Falcon ball on the far end. While they are making a substitution, we'd like to talk about another one of our sponsors in the second half, Roger Roldan and North Oaks Pediatrics. Doctors Roldan, Westmoreland, Loomis, Donner are all board-certified pediatricians serving the children of the Florida parishes. North Oaks Pediatrics and Dr. Roger Roldan. Throw in by the Falcons. Ball is out on the Jaguars, and again the Falcons will throw it in on the far side. Shansback is with the ball, looking for someone to throw it to. Jaguars with the ball, trying to set up some offense. And the ball cleared out by Jacques Smith. Jaguar ball on the far side. Throw in. Shansback takes it. Sends it across to Planels, who is looking for a spot. Sends it to the left corner, intended for either Horgan or Gumpert, but stoppage in play as the Jaguars make a couple of substitutions. The Jaguars with the ball will have the throw in here at their end of the field. Horgan intercepts the throw in and then sends it over to Shansback. Ball sent way wide as Shansback heads out to cover. Ball crossed in the middle and taken by Macalusa. And then cleared out by Planels, even though it's to a Jaguar. Off the legs of Samuel Macalusa, and it's Jaguar ball in the Falcon end third. Score still 1-0 in favor of the Falcons here on a penalty kick in the first half. Ball cleared by the Falcons and then taken out of bounds on the shot. Bobby Moore will put the ball into play as a goal kick. Rolling and Perilou, attorneys at law, Mark Rolling, Scott Perilou, and Scott Sledge practice all types of legal work, including personal injury, real estate, commercial litigation, wills and estates, and family law, with offices at 900 Thomas Street in Hammond. Rolling and Perilou, attorneys at law, helping bring us the second half of today's ball game between the Jaguars of Pope John Paul and the Falcons of St. Thomas Aquinas. Again, the score 1-0. Falcons on a penalty kick in the first half. It's been a very, very tight game, lots of action. Both teams have been running back and forth quite a bit. Goalies have both been very, very busy. Ball out of bounds on the far side. Johnny Scalage throws in toward Andrew Shalona. Andrew kind of pancaked in the middle there, sandwiched. And the ball sent down. Chris Wong takes it and sends it back up the field. Ball in toward the goal, intended as a pass, but just out of reach, and Bobby Moore takes it, clears it out to Macalusa, who sends it up the field. It's out of bounds again on the far side, and it'll be a Falcon throw-in. We've played just at 15 minutes of the second half. No score, but plenty of action going on. Kicked out again on the far side. Jaguars again getting set to substitute. Horgan trying to get the ball as Gumpert tried to head it over to him. Cleared out. Woody's got the ball. Sends it back up the field towards Shalona. And Shalona taken down. Number 25 yellow carded for the take, and that's his second. So he's red carded out of the game. Breaking the action here for a second. Chris Wong will get set to bring the ball back in as we've had a red card against number 25 for the Jaguars. He's been taken out of the game. Now Chris Wong sends the ball down, intended for Johnny Skalash, cleared by the Jaguars. And the Falcons try to set up the defense again. Good hard game going on. Both teams doing a fine job of moving the ball around and making it very active. And a shot by number 7. Sean Yo, taken by Bobby Moore. Moore clears it out to midfield toward Gumpert. Carl trying to get his feet on it and been cleared by the defense. Josh Whitty takes the ball out to Macalusa to set back up into the middle to Planells. Now we'll move down far down to Gumpert and to Johnny Skalash, and then out of bounds off of the Jaguars, and it'll be a corner kick for the Falcons. It'll be the first corner kick the Falcons have had today. Jaime Planells set to put the ball in play for the Falcons on the far side. Both teams setting up. Falcons trying to get an offensive punch here and see if they can get a header in there. Defense gets it, clears it out. Wong to Tryon. Tryon takes it down to the left corner. Ball over the end line before Tryon could get to it, and it'll be a goal kick for the Jaguars. Substitutes getting set to come in for both teams. Whistle on Tryon Horgan for putting his hands on the back of the player. Pushing a little bit there, trying to get to the header, but Jaguars will put the ball in play. Good play by Josh Woody to deflect the ball, and Jaguars couldn't get off a real good strong kick. Moore clears it out to Shalona, who tries to send it across to Planells, and then Shansback takes it down the far side. And then out of bounds against the Falcons. Jaguar ball. Hassan coming off for the Jaguars, and into the game, number 14, who I think his name was Campbell, if I recall, not on our roster. 1-0, Falcon ball. Falcons winning at Falcon Field here against both John Paul Jaguars. District game for both teams. Falcons trying to get the ball into Gumpert to see if he could get another shot at goal. Number 4 for the Falcons, Christopher Burns, coming into the game for Andrew Shalona. Coach Planell's making several moves himself, trying to keep fresh players in the game as they're doing an awful lot of running. Don't want to get too tired. Got a lot of game left to play. Ball sent way down the field. Shock Smith trying to protect the defense for the Falcons. And wins the ball and gets it out to Johnny Scalage. Scalage trying to get it down the far side to Gumpert, a little too far and out of bounds. Be a throw in for the Jaguars on the far side of the field. Ball cleared by Josh Whitty. And then back in by the Jaguars. Trying going over the back of the player. Foul against him, and it'll be a free kick again for the Jaguars. Steve Graham set to put the ball into play for the Jaguars. Gumpert coming back to help out the rest of the defense. Ball sent way across over everybody's head. A push in the back by the Jaguars will give a free kick to the Falcons. Bobby Moore set to take the free kick for the Falcons. Sets the ball. Good turnout here at Falcon Field today. Beautiful weather, few beautiful white clouds in the sky. It's not too cold, no wind. As you can see, the flag on the far side is not even hardly moving. Garrett Allen with the ball for the Jaguars. Chris Burns pushed down by the Jaguars. Give a free kick to the Falcons, and Planell's has got it. Sends it down to Tryon. And as he tries to kick it across, can't quite get the foot to it right. A little too much dirt on that one, and it wasn't cleared. Foul on Stephen Graham, number 5. Chris Wong coming up to put the ball in play for the Falcons. Falcons all offense move down. Good shot by Wong on the far side, right where everybody was, and Planell's takes a little shot just wide of the goal box, out of bounds. Goal kick for the Jaguars. Steven Sanji coming in the game for the Falcons, replacing Tryon Horgan. Horgan has been running very hard here in the all game and needs a little breather. Colasino sends the ball downfield. Shock Smith looks for it, sets up, and then kicks it out of bounds, and it'll be Jaguar ball right here at midfield. Sent in to Garrett Allen, who tries to send it over his head. Shock Smith got it, and then taken by the Jaguars. Graham trying to get it away. Jaguar ball as the ball went off Falcons on the out of bounds play. Garrett Allen will be set to throw it in for the Jaguars. 1-0 Falcons lead on a penalty kick in the first half, and we've played about 25 minutes of the second half, about 15 more to go. Throw in comes down deep and off of, I believe, Jaime Planell's head, out of bounds over the end line, and it'll be a corner kick for the Jaguars. Moore setting the defense in front of the box for the corner kick for the Falcons, as Stephen Graham gets ready to put the ball into play for the Jaguars. Jaguars getting their offense lined up while Moore gets the defense set up for the Falcons. Ball comes across and out of bounds over the end line off of, I believe, one of the Jaguars, number 16, Maurice Pygott. Bobby Moore will then set the ball into play from a goal kick. Moore sends it down the far side looking for Gumpert. Out of bounds off of the Jaguars, and Shansback with the throw-in. Sends it long to Gumpert, who then sends it way over the backstop, way over the goal box, and that'll be a goal kick for the Jaguars. Second half action being brought to you by Evans Carpet Depot. Dave and Dee Dee Evans provide a full line of quality residential and business flooring, including carpet, vinyl, ceramic tile, and wood. That's Evans Carpet Depot. Off of Johnny Skalash, it'll give Jaguar ball. Substitution for the Jaguars as they continue to move players in and out of the game. Roger Roldan and North Oaks Pediatrics is also proud to bring you second half action today. Doctors Roldan, Westmoreland, Loomis, and Donner, all board-certified pediatricians serving the children of the Florida parishes. That's North Oaks Pediatrics and Dr. Roger Roldan. Falcons trying to clear the ball out from the defense. Steven Sanji coming in to try to help out. Little push there. We'll give the ball to the Jaguars. McClellan set to kick it in. Falcons setting up their defense. Ball straight up and taken by Bobby Moore. Bobby has a little advantage on that where he can reach up and use his hands, whereas the other players can only use the head, and he can get his hands up a little higher than they can get their heads up. Falcons trying to clear it out and set something up. Get down to Gumpert. Gumpert over to Chris Burns. Burns looking for somewhere to put the ball. Ball is stolen by the Jaguars and then stolen back by Johnny Skalash. Little kickball action, what we call now, where they're just kicking the ball back and forth and no real passing going on. Falcons setting up. Johnny Skalash kicks it out of bounds, and it'll be Jaguar ball. Throw in from the sideline right in front of the Falcon bench. Push against the Falcons will give a free kick to the Jaguars right at the corner of the 18. Falcons trying to set up their defense. You can hear Bobby Moore yelling 2, so that must be whatever defense they want. Looked like there was a little confusion there because ball went right through the middle and almost into the box. Luckily, it went up over the top, and the Falcons get to breathe a little easier on that one. Nathan Hamilton returning to the game, replacing Christopher Burns. Bobby Moore set to kick it out on a goal kick, and Justin Cash entering the game now, too, for Johnny Skalash. Ball out of bounds on the far side. The fans trying to get a little help there, and but the ball goes over to the Jaguars, and then an improper throw by the Jaguars will give the ball back to the Falcons. Samuel McAloose is set to throw the ball in. Throws it back to Jacques Smith, who then sends it far down the field. Jaguars out of bounds with it, and it'll be a throw in for Brandon Shansback and the Falcons. And Planels, who looks around and then sends it to the far corner, intended for Cash. Can he get to it and keep it in bounds? Yes. And then he sends it across the middle, intended for Stephen Sanji, but intercepted by the goalkeeper. Out of bounds on Planell's, and the Falcons will give the ball a throw-in for the Jaguars right down on the end line. Falcons again setting up their defense. Throw-in comes across, cleared by Jock Smith and then by Macalusa, taken by the Jaguars, sent back far down into the right corner. Ball crossed in, headed out of bounds on the attempt for the goal, but wide of the box. Goal kick for the Falcons and Bobby Moore. Rolling in Perilou, attorneys at law are bringing you the second half action here at Falcon Field as the Falcons are hosting Pope John Paul in district action to score 1-0. Mark Rolling, Scott Perilou, and Scott Sledge practice all types of legal work, including personal injury, real estate, commercial litigation, wills and estates, and family law. Offices at 900 Thomas Street in Hammond. Ball is out of bounds on the Falcons, and again a throw-in for the Jaguars. Ball out to the middle of the field. Planell's trying to get to it, and then cleared by Jacques Smith, and then Gumpert tried to send it down to Sanji, but a little too far. Whistle on the play. It's going to be a penalty, a foul, I should say, against the Jaguars, and it'll be a kick for the Falcons. Chris Wong will set the ball in play. And Chris sends it down to Carl Gumpert, who then does a little flick to Nathan Hamilton. Hamilton sends it across the middle, intended for Sanji, and he goes over the top of the goalie as the goalie makes a fine play on the ball. Goalie's down. I think Steve may have caught him as he went over the top of him with his foot. Lots of talk on the fan side of the field. There's both teams are really into it, both sets of fans. Lots of action going on. Ball into the middle for the Jaguars, then moved around to the outside. I don't know if that was a shot or a pass, but it went way off of everything and out of bounds, so the Falcons will have it again as a goal kick. Into the game for the Falcons, number 23, John Garan. Josh Whitty coming out. Josh has played a very good hard game. Been beat up a little bit, it looks like. Moore sends it out. Doesn't get a good kick there, but John Daniel working hard to get it away from Garrett Allen. Foul against the Falcons, number 15, Cash. Will give a free kick to McClellan, who sends it up the middle. Jock Smith heads it, clears it out to Nathan Hamilton, who then sends it down the right side to Sanji. There's a little collision on the far side, and then a whistle against the Jaguars will give the Falcons a free kick. Planell sends it down the far right side looking for Shansback. Planell misses it, and Jaguars take it down the right side. Far side into the middle to Cash. Cash loses it and gets taken down. Action getting hot and heavy here. This is a typical game between the Jaguars of Pope John Paul and the Falcons of STA. Chris Wong set to go. High pass across the middle intended for either Sanji or Gumpert, but a little miscommunication and the ball ends up in goalie's hands. Long shot down the field taken by Garrett Allen. By my clock, we only got about 4 minutes left in the game. Falcons are still leading 1-0 on the penalty kick in the first half. Whistle against the Falcons, give a free kick to the Jaguars. Second half action being brought to you today by Evans Carpet Depot, Roger Roldan and North Oaks Pediatrics, and Rolling and Perilou Attorneys at Law. Falcons setting up their defense. Jaguars trying to come up with some kind of move here. I believe it was off of a Falcon, so it'll be a free kick again for the Jaguars, getting a little bit closer and a little bit closer. Goalkeeper Moore trying to set his wall and get the defense lined up so that we don't have another mistake as we almost did a minute ago when the ball went all the way through. And the ball is way out to the right side as it goes off the side of one of the Falcon defenders that was in the wall. It will give a corner kick to the Jaguars. Number 18, Allen, picks up the ball, sets it to place. Falcons defense setting up. Jaguars moving, and the ball comes in across the front. And off of the Jaguars on the header attempt, out of bounds, and it'll be Falcons goal kick by the goalie Moore. Falcons' next game will be on Monday. Well, there'll be a JV game in Ponchatoula. Then Wednesday at Independence, which will be a 3 o'clock game. And then next Saturday, Pearl River will be here. Also, both Independence and Pearl River being district games here. Independence will be at Independence at 3 o'clock. Pearl River will be here at Falcon Field at 1 o'clock next Saturday. Falcons setting up, trying to preserve this win. 1-0 score for the Falcons. By my watch, about a minute to go, I think. Ball on the far side, out off of Nathan Hamilton, and the Jaguars will bring the ball in. Jaguars trying to push the action. Down 1-0. Whistle against the Falcons. Not much time left. Both teams are really hurrying. The ball in deep. Goal for the Jaguars. As the ball was headed into the middle, and Falcons couldn't preserve the win on 1-0 goal. Goal in the back for the Jaguars. Falcons will put the ball into play. Second half action being brought to you by Rolling and Perilou, Attorneys at Law, Dr. Roger Roldan and North Oaks Pediatrics, and Evans Carpet Depot. Whistle on the play as Jaguar players down on the field. Looks like Hassan has got probably a cramp. Falcons need to try to move the ball quickly down the field and get another goal here so that we can pull out a win instead of a tie. Jaguars are going to be packing the defense as the Falcons are trying to push it down. Can't be much time left in the game. Gumpert and Steven Sanji put the ball into play. Gumpert has it. Looks for somewhere to send it. Sends it across the field to Macalusa. Looks down the field. Sends it down the right side to Shansback, who sends it across the field, trying to get it into Gumpert or to Planell. Both teams in a hurry-up mode here as we winding down the game. Chris Wong with the ball, sends it up the middle of the field, intended for Gumpert. Couldn't quite get to it. Shock Smith set to clear it. And the ball is out of bounds. Don't know who they're going to give the ball to at this point. I believe it should be a Falcon throw in. Yes, Falcon throw in. Jock Smith going over to get the ball. Throw in down the far side, intended for Planell, but a little over his head. And Planell sends it down toward Gumpert. Can't quite get to it, and it's cleared out way wide. In fact, almost hit Sister over there. Falcons with the throw in again on the far side. Shock Smith sends it into Bobby Moore, who has to clear it out quick and almost lose it to the Jaguars. Jaguars mounting a quick pressure here. And they shoot over the goal as the Falcons almost blew it. Defense trying to be a little bit too sneaky with the ball and lost the ball up the middle, and Graham took it down. Moore sends it out. Tryon Horgan heads it. Bobby Moore has it in the box. Long clear, and that's the whistle and the end of the game. Final score here at Falcon Field. The Pope John Paul Jaguars 1, Falcons 1. So they tie the first game this year, much the same as last year's. Second half action has been brought to you today by Evans Carpet Depot. Dave and Dee Dee Evans provide full line quality of residential and business flooring, including carpet, vinyl, ceramic tile, and wood. Dr. Roger Roldan in North Oaks Pediatrics. Doctors Roldan, Westmoreland, Loomis, and Donner, all board-certified pediatricians serving the children of the Florida parishes. Rolling and Perilou, attorneys at law, practicing all types of legal work, including personal injury, real estate, commercial litigation, wills, estates, and family law. We will go into 2 10-minute halves now, because being a district game, there has to be a winner. We will take a 5-minute break, and then we will then start two 10-minute halves to see if we can decide a winner in this game. The start of overtime here at Falcon Field. Jaguars and the Falcons tied up at 1-1. We will play 2 10-minute halves. They'll play the first 10 minutes, go in this direction, then they'll stop, flip around, and then play another 10 minutes. And if they're still tied at the end of that time, then the game will end a tie. But otherwise, whoever has the most at that point is going to be the winner. This is a typical game between these two teams, 1-1. Last year we went into overtime several, I don't know if it was in both games, but definitely I remember we went into overtime at Pope John Paul, where the Falcons were able to win in the overtime. Corner kick for the Jaguars here right at the start, and Defense is setting up. This is what got him in trouble last time. Short kick. Jock Smith sends it straight up in the air. Planell sends it out to the outside. It'll go out of bounds off the Falcons, and the Jaguars should get the throw in. Allen's kick coming across the front. Whistle on the play. A foul against the Jaguars for pushing. We'll give a free kick to the Falcons. Ball sent back, and Bobby Moore will put it into play. 1-1 as we're into overtime. Played about 7 minutes of the first of the two 10-minute halves. Ball out of bounds. General litigation, Ron Macalusa, attorney at law. Jim Meyer Construction. Jimmy Meyer and Ronnie Figurino are builders of quality homes and businesses. Whether it's new construction, an addition, or extensive remodeling, they can handle the job. Jim Meyer Construction and Garan Insurance, North Lake Insurance Group. John and Charles Garan, providing all types of insurance, whether for your home, business, boat, automobile, or personal liability. With offices in historic downtown Hammond, consider Garan Insurance for all your insurance needs. Good hand for Jock Smith as he comes off the field. Little assistance from the trainer and coach, Planells. Justin Cash going in. Don't know which one's going in. Andrew Shalona going to go in for Jacques for a minute. Chris Wong will swing into the stopper position in the middle back there, and Andrew Shalona will take basically Chris's outside spot. Falcons with the ball. Right now, the Jaguars having a little bit better half in this so far. Shalona in toward Horgan. Shansback tries to clear the ball and misses, and Hamilton gets it. Whistle on the play, and it'll be a free kick for the Falcons. Sent across to Johnny Skalash. Foul against the Jaguars. We'll give the ball into play by Chris Wong. Far side to Shansback, who takes it down the right side, looking for somewhere to send it. Sends it deep. And that's the end of the first half of the overtime. First half has been brought to you by Garan Insurance, North Lake Insurance Group, by Jimmy Meyer Construction, and Ron Macaluso, attorney at law. As the teams switch sides now, they'll go another 10 minutes. And if there's still no score, then the game will end in a tie. Second half will be brought to you by Evans Carpet Depot, Roger Roldan and North Oaks Pediatrics, and Rolling and Perilou, attorneys at law. Justin Cash getting ready to go in the game for Brandon Shansback. Give Brandon a quick breather. All right, we'll start it off with a center kick again. Falcons will start at this time as the Jaguars had it the first. There's the whistle, and we're set to go. 10 more minutes. Gumper takes it, sends it back to Horgan, sends it back to Wong, and the Falcons start to set up. Cash keeps the ball and gets it up, and then out of bounds. It'll be Jaguar ball. Right here at midfield, right in front of us. Game ball in. And it's out and cleared by Shalona. And it's then number 23 sends the ball way into the far corner, out of bounds, and over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Falcons. Moore setting the Falcons. Sends the ball out to the far side and intended for Skalash. Misses, and out it goes. Jaguar ball. Shalona on the far side covering. Ball out of bounds over the end line again, and it'll be a goal kick again for the Falcons. So far in this overtime period, the Jaguars have had the better of the two ends. They've put more pressure on the Falcons. Moore sends it up the middle of the field to Horgan. Horgan sends it out to Planells. He sends it up the middle to Gumpert, who's trying to find room, and then sends it over the goalposts, over everything. Three-pointer if there'd have been goals there, I think. It's a good try, but just a little too high by Carl Gumpert. Be a goal kick for the Jaguars. We're waiting on the ball. I think the ball boys on the far side were not exactly paying attention. They hadn't had too much activity, and Colasino gets set to put the ball in play for the Jaguars. Whistle as Tryon goes down. Hamilton sets to put the ball in play. Now steps back as Wong comes up to take it. Chris Wong will put it in play, and Nathan moves on down to get into the offense. Ball up high for Gumpert. Colasino with the ball, clears it out. Off the header of Shalona across to Justin Cash, who then turns it, but the Jaguars win the ball. Cash gets a foul called on him, and it'll be Jaguar ball. Stephen Graham set to put it in play for the Jaguars. Jaguars trying to set an offense, and Moore and the Falcons trying to set up the defense. And the ball coming across into a header. Off the board as Moore makes a fine stop to tap it up. Beautiful play by Pope John Paul as they set it up, and then a fantastic stop by Moore. It will give a corner kick to the Jaguars. Garrett Allen will take it on the far side. Falcons setting up the defense. Jaguars all moving around, the ball coming across, and I believe it's behind the line, so it'll be a goal kick for the Falcons. Pope John Paul making a substitution. We've played about almost 5 minutes of the second overtime, I believe. And overtime being brought to you by, excuse me, by Evans Carpet Depot, by Roger Roldan and North Oaks Pediatrics, and by Rolling and Perilou Attorneys at Law. Falcons trying to mount an offensive attack here, and Jaguars win the ball back. Ball goes out of bounds over the end line, and Falcons will get another goal kick. Score still tied at 1-1, and we're in overtime. The last 5 minutes of the second 10-minute period. If there's still no score at the end of this overtime, then the game will be considered a tie. Ball out on the Jaguars. Hamilton into Gumpert, who loses it out of bounds. So he's trying to make a move on the defense to get open and get the ball. Throw in for the Jaguars. Falcons win the throw-in contest there. And then Jaguars clear the ball out of bounds. Gumpert with the ball in the corner. Into Cash, who sends it across the middle. And right to the keeper, Colasino, who takes it and clears it out. A little extra push there on Macaluso will give the Jaguars the ball. Stephen Graham set to kick it for the Jaguars, sends it across the field so they can try to set up an offensive play. Falcons covering. Long ball sent down the field, taken by Moore. Looks for somewhere to send it and then just clears it down the field. Intended for the corner for Gumpert. Out of bounds on the Falcons. It'll be a Jaguar ball. Good try by both Gumpert and McCormick. Foul on the Falcons will give the ball back to the Jaguars. Again, Graham sets it up. Kicks it across the field again. Falcons setting up to cover. And Graham takes a wild shot way left of the goal. And it'll be another goal kick for the Falcons. Falcons setting up. Moore sends the ball down the middle of the field. Taken there by the Jaguars instead of by the Falcons. Over the inline again. It'll be a goal kick again for the Falcons. Yeah, about 2 minutes left by my watch, and still scored tied at 1-1. Not a real good kick on that one to clear it out, though it did get the job done. Jaguars are going to end up with the ball in the middle. Macaluso trying to get it over to Cash. Not quite enough distance. Sent back across to Steve Graham. Graham crossing over, but nice defensive play by Samuel Macaluso. Ball out of bounds on that. Out of bounds on the Falcons. It'll be Jaguar ball. Everybody hollering and screaming on the far side as Garrett Allen gets set to bring the ball in. Long throw across the middle. Wong clears it, and then a wild shot by the Jaguars. Goal kick again for Bobby Moore and the Falcons. 2 balls on the field. Hold on. Moore sets it up, and then off we go. Out to Wong, who then sends it up the middle of the field, trying to get to Carl Gumpert. Can't quite get to him. Macaluso with the ball. Out to Cash, back to Macaluso, and down the sidelines. Falcons trying to get something going, just can't quite get it going as the Jaguars keep winning most of the ball. Chris Wong sends it up, but taken by McClellan and then sent up way up there trying to get to Gumpert. Hamilton wins the ball. And it's going to be a corner kick for the Falcons as it's off of a Jaguar. As Nathan hurries to try to get around the edge. Player down for the Jaguars. I think it's Chris McClellan. Falcons getting set for the corner kick. Here's running out of time. Bobby Moore comes running up to try to help out. But Falcon ball on the far side. Carl can't quite get a good foot on that one as we're running about out of time as Macalusa tries to get it cleared. Ball comes into the middle. Hamilton's trying to get across. Gumpert has it, a whistle on the play. Foul against the Falcons will give the ball to the Jaguars. Colasino clears it way out down the field. Wong gets it. Jaguars rushing, hurrying in. A big shot on goal, but taken by Moore, out to who then gets it out to Hamilton. A foul against the Jaguars. Ball in play by the Falcons up to Horgan, who then loses the ball as he puts it a little too far out in front. Whistle against Hamilton. Play's getting a little wild here as they realize that they're just about to run out of time. Can't be much left in it. I've got us at 13. I know they had a little stoppage when the ball went out down there, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. That's it. That's the end of the game. And the score will stand at 1-1 as the Jaguars from Pope John Paul and the Falcons of St. Thomas Aquinas tie in the first opening district game for both teams this year. Falcons will be playing this Wednesday, I believe it is, at Independence, and then here again next Saturday against Pearl River, both games being district games. Second half action today has been brought to you by Evans Carpet Depot. Offer the largest stock in Tangipahoa Parish with outlet prices and complete installation. You can find them at their new location on University Drive between SLU and I-55. Doctors Roldan, Westmoreland, Loomis, and Don are all board-certified pediatricians serving the children of Florida parishes, Roger Roldan and North Oaks Pediatrics, and Rolling and Perilou, attorneys at law, Mark Rolling, Scott Perilou, Scott Sledge, practicing all types of legal work, including personal injury, real estate, commercial litigation, wills and estates, and family law, with offices on Thomas Street here in Hammond. That'll conclude today's broadcast. Final score again as the Falcons and the Jaguars tie 1-1.